Alright, I just want to do a basic video on a few basic racing terms, just things that people talk about and things that you should know if you're going to get into RC racing, or really if you're going to drive an RC truck seriously. It's probably a good idea to know this. So first we'll start with your tires. So your tires, take this off. Tires are extremely important. Now, when you race, your tires are going to get dirt, you're going to get crap on them. You need to clean them off in between each race, each run. All the guys that I know, they use a simple green. It works amazingly well. It gets a good tacky kind of surface on it after you clean it, and it cleans them really well. In between each race, they need to be cleaned, so they're ready, good and clean for the next race. Now, when you're done with them, you never leave your tires on your truck. Okay, your racing truck. If you're serious about racing, serious about your tires, never leave them on your truck. What you want to do is you want to take your tires off and put them in a sealable bag. The worst thing on the rubber on these tires is air. Air is the worst thing. So here I have this is a Pro Line. This is obviously my electrons for my stadium truck, as you can tell, really wide. Now this is what's cool about Pro Line, or just about any other brand. They come with these nice sealable bags. You can see the Ziploc seal. So if you buy tires and you put them on your rims, the tires and the rims just fit back in here and then just seal them up when you're done. So don't leave your tires on your truck. Especially don't leave your tires on your truck like this, where they're sitting on the rubber, because you want to keep the tires soft and keep them nice and neat. And like I said, air is the worst thing for these. It'll dry them out, break them down, then they won't be as sticky or be able to hold on to the track as well. So that's the first thing, tires. Next, let's talk about camber. Now, camber, if you're looking at the vehicle flat from the front or from the rear, the camber, as you can see on the back here, is the inward and outward tilt at the top of the wheel. So you can see the back of this is a good example. The back of this truck, the wheels are pointed in. That's the camber, and they have that in degrees. Now, also to look on here, this is my SE5M, by the way. These are the J Concepts titanium turnbuckles. You only have one turnbuckle in the rear. That's because you can only control the camber on the back of this short course truck. Which I don't know if all short course truck are like that, but this is the ST5, and this is like the race truck right now. Like I said before in one of my other videos, the mid-motor design, which is in front of the rear chassis, and the old one just in the back. It takes corners. It's amazing. But anyway, so back on point. Camber, inward outward tilt of the top of the wheel when looking at it straight on. Okay, not when looking at it like this. That's not right. When you're looking at it from a flat area, inward outward tilt of the wheel, front or back. Okay, and those are the only turnbuckles. Turning them in or out will adjust the wheel in or out, and they usually measure that by degrees. Okay, so if you look at the front of this, we have two turnbuckles. Now the reason that is because one of the turnbuckles, the top one, controls, like we said before, the camber, which is the inward outward tilt of the wheel at the top. Okay, now this back turnbuckle down here is the toe turnbuckle. Now the toe, if you want to think of toe, this is the easiest way to think about it. Think about pigeon-toed. Somebody that's pigeon-toed, their feet point in. Okay, that's the same way that toe is on an RC vehicle. So if a vehicle has a lot of toe, these tires will be pointed in, looking at it from the top. And how you adjust that toe is your turnbuckle in the back here. Okay? So toe is the inward outward tilt looking down on the vehicle of the front wheels. I mean, you can have toe on the rear, but you can't adjust it on almost every short course truck I've ever seen. There may be some that you can, but so toe is the inward outward tilt of the wheels at the front, and the camber, a good example is the rear of this truck here, because I haven't adjusted it yet because I just put these turnbuckles on, is the rear. That's a lot. That's a crazy amount of camber. You don't ever want to run something like that. That's way too much. But that'll kind of give you an idea so you can see how extreme it is. That's camber. Let me try to think if there's anything else. I have this. This is like a little protractor I got from where'd I get this? Local hardware store. And you can you undo this little screw right here and you adjust it for the amount of degrees you want. This is how I've been doing it. I have a low-C camber gauge coming in the mail, which is way better. They're only 15 bucks. But then you can adjust like this. So when you figure out your camber, you set it like this, go up against it. I would use a harder, flatter surface. Obviously this isn't flat. It's not hard. This is, yoga mat, but yeah, that's how I do it. Now, So if you're gonna get serious with the racing, definitely you're gonna need a camber gauge, and you're gonna need a ride height gauge as well. This is a low C ride height gauge, and all you do, put it at, 10 obviously. You put it under the vehicle, you hit your button here and slide it up till this little notch. You put it under the vehicle, hit your button here, slide it up till this little notch touches the bottom of the chassis. Don't push the chassis because you're moving it. Just touches it, and then let go of it, and you'll see, okay, 30 millimeters. That's my ride height. And then when you adjust it by moving your shock caps, not your shock cap, but your ring that holds your spring, moving that up or down, you can adjust your ride height up or down. And then when you adjust it, you want to put it up in the air and drop it and let it hit the table. I would do it 3 times and then do your ride height again. And I would do that a couple times to get a correct ride height. And you'll see your ride height change because you're adjusting your spring piece right here. Now what I do, it's kind of be real easy for you to see here, like this. I don't know if you can see, let's try like this. Probably can see it a little better right there. Like this is, you can see the black mark right here that's on the top of the shock and the spring. What I do is I put marks on all mine so that I know how many turns I'm doing from where it was previously at. Maybe you can see a little bit right there, hopefully. So I know anytime I turn this, so if I turn this one whole way, I know how many turns I've done so that I can do the identical amount of turns on the opposite side. So mark that. That's a good way to keep track of where your turns are. And what I would do, this is what I did, is you could turn these all the way up till they hit the top of here, and then mark it, and then count your turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The black dot went 5 times around. So now I know I need to do 5 times on this side to keep everything identically the right height. But yeah, the video turned out a little longer than I wanted, but just some basic stuff to kind of get some people, help some people be a little more knowledgeable about if you're going to be RC racing, to kind of tell you what camber is, what toe is, ride height. You're going to want to, you're going to want to know about ride height. There's also anti-squat in the rear, which is exactly that, just the anti-squat of the rear end. So like if this was straight, this rear end, the A-arms, that's just, there's no anti-squat. But if I drop it, it goes like this, like that's a lot of anti-squat because it's squat. So just a few basics can help. Maybe it'll, some people will learn a little bit from it. But yeah, I'll get a ride height gauge, get a camber gauge, mark your shocks like I did so you can keep track of how your adjustments are going. And that's about it, guys. Hopefully that helps some people, like, comment, subscribe. I'll throw some more tips out there, kind of stuff that I don't think anything that I do is different. A lot of people mark their shocks. I'm not doing anything innovative or crazy. It's what a lot of people do. And I'm not the best stock class racer, but I've taken 3rd. I think it's about the highest I've taken. But yeah, all right, guys. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'll try to throw some more tips out there as much as I can.